Hi and welcome back to the Happiness Safari podcast. My name is Nadine, I'm your host, and I'm so happy you're here, especially today because, believe it or not, this is already episode number 50 and is a very special moment for me because exactly a year ago I recorded my first interview with my dear friend Victoria here on this very same balcony in Lagos in Portugal, and now I'm back here. I've been traveling to 11 countries in between and recorded from there 45 interviews with people from 20 different countries. So really, thank you so much for being my guests on this podcast, and thank you so much for listening to this podcast, no matter if you listened to one episode, if this is your first episode or your 50th episode. I am just so amazed about this journey and your support and the reactions, and I'm so happy. And yeah, as this podcast is about happiness and the journey to happiness, the safari, happiness safari, towards yourself and your own happiness, I ask the same 3 questions at the end of every interview. And the first one is always, what does happiness mean to you? And there is a special episode about the answers. I believe it's number 37. I will link it in the show notes. That was the last episode of the first season. And now I put together a Jubilee episode for you with the top 100 answers to the second question: what do you do to be happy? So what do people do to be happy? What do they do to feel happy, to feel content? And I got amazing answers from all my 45 interview guests. It's a very fun episode to listen to. So if you're going for a walk or a run or wherever you are, maybe you're just at home and doing something like housework, it's a nice episode to listen to, get some inspiration. You can also sit down and write down the top things that resonate with you. And yeah, I really hope this is inspiring you. So if you haven't been listening to the episodes before, maybe you want to go back and re-listen to some of them if you resonate with some of our guests. And so now, with no further ado, I wish you a lot of fun and enjoy this episode. What do you do to be happy?
I would say one of the top, on the top of the list would be quality time with my loved ones. Also, recently I rediscovered quality time with myself.
I have a morning routine. Every morning I will do 10 minutes of breathing. So do yogic breathing first thing when I'm led down. Then I do meditation for 20 minutes, sometimes half an hour. And then I'll journal in the mornings around my incantations, what my goals are for that day, what my 3 main tasks that I want to get done. And then I'll write a gratitude list of 10 things I'm grateful for.
Having a daily self-care, but we can always find those kind of 10 or 20 minutes for ourselves, and it doesn't have to be a bath with candles. It can be just a walk in nature. For me, it works perfectly just being with myself in nature and not thinking about anything but looking at what surrounds me. It can be just not touching a phone, so avoiding social media for an amount of time. It can be just hugging someone.
Things that make me happy. I love being of service to others. So in whatever way, shape or form I am called to help, I enjoy doing that. I feel alive when I do that. I feel that it's part of my reason of being on earth. What makes me happy is feeling connected to self, understanding who I am, understanding what my purpose is here, what the meaning of my life is.
So I had to consciously start to quieten my life overall and learn to really be. be with myself. But I practice with kind of small self-love acts. So anything from like taking a walk in the forest, or having a bath, or reading a book, or even doing a quick meditation. And I learned to see that all these really small daily routines or acts of self-love, that I call them, have had a huge effect on me being able to be more calm.
To be aware of how we are feeling in life, what we're experiencing, and to stay with that. Met with whatever comes, you know?
The best trick that I've used so far, and it always works like a charm, is taking a pen and an empty piece of paper. It always has to be the empty piece of paper. And writing down at the top, why am I not feeling great right now? What's bothering me right now, for example? And then, and then it's very easy. Then you just take the pen, put it to the paper, and let it write. And you write and write and write, and you do not stop until you feel that everything on that specific subject is out. And it's almost like having a rendezvous, a meeting with your subconscious.
What I do to be happy, I try to find the good in every moment, or the joy in every moment. So I'll give you an example. The other day I took my children to the park, and all three of them, they were climbing a tree. Okay, a beautiful day. They climbed the tree. My eldest son got higher, my daughter was in the middle, and my baby, my 5-year-old, couldn't climb the tree, basically. He was right at the bottom. And I was standing away from them, and I looked at them. It was a beautiful day. The sky was blue. The tree was lush green, and they were smiling. They were happy. And I just took a moment. I looked at them, and I smiled. I actually got teary, to be honest. And it was tears of joy, because I paused for a moment to observe, to watch. And from that, I was grateful, and from that, I was happy.
My grandparents helped raise me, and my grandmother, some of the best advice she gave me, and this is from being, a young child. I remember this from the age of like 6. I think 5 or 6 is the first time I remember this, was she would tell me, before you even step out of bed in the morning, so before you put your foot on the floor, think about what you are thankful for. Like the first thing that comes to your mind, right? Or maybe it's more than one thing. And then choose how you're going to lead that day. And my grandmother was the type of person that would be thankful for whatever it was. And she was like, I'm going to make this day wonderful because, and then she would start her day.
A really important one is my sleep. I try to prioritize my sleep. It doesn't always work, but I try to be boring and go to bed early when I can, and try to kind of wake up early as well. That's not my natural rhythm, I would say, but I'm trying to work on that. And with that, I'm also trying to have a good light hygiene and not spend too much time on my phone in the morning, first thing in the morning, or last thing before bed. I think the most important and the fastest way of making myself feel better is just reducing social media and screen times.
Having to put my own happiness and joy first and feeling confident to do that has really only sunk in the last few years. So for me, that has been an improvement in my own contentment / happiness levels. The fact that I can look after myself, and by keeping my own cup full, then I've got more to give to others.
Spirituality, gratitude, knowing a higher divine power, and knowing that I am safe. I pray. I make an intention to pray, both physically. For humanity, sometimes I just sit down and I just make a prayer for myself, for my neighbors, for my loved ones, for the world.
Living every day a little bit closer to my true inner self and finding purpose on my happiness path.
Going to the gym, talking to my family, and like learning new things. Whenever I learn something new, I like unlock a new level of happiness.
Well, I do all the things that I love, like music makes me happy. I take the dog for a walk all the time, and that makes me happy. I move. I do, workout. I do obviously like my work, at the moment. And I would say I love my work, so I'm always doing that. So it's like identifying what kind of makes you happy, and then you try and live it as much as possible.
That is normally being in nature, like just being still in nature. For example, being at the beach and just being present and watching the waves and watching the skies and watching the birds flying in the skies or watching the sunset. It always makes me so emotional and grateful to be alive. So whenever I like walking around here, and there are beautiful places here in the city that I'm in, which is Lagos, and I'm walking around and I see like this amazing view, I just get emotional. And it's as if like in an instant, I'm in my soul, I'm in the present moment, and I just feel so grateful to be alive. And another thing that I love a lot is being with people, being around people, communicating and just exchanging experiences. That is something that makes me so happy. It makes my soul so happy. I can just, feel it.
I take care of myself. I think that well-being is something that we're not taught, unfortunately, because so many people neglect themselves, and then they teach you how to neglect yourself. It just passes on generationally. And, when I see all these people really not taking time to take care of themselves. And when I think and I say take care of myself, I don't think on creams and lotions and nothing like this. Taking care of myself means I'm giving my body what it needs. And this is for me, sun, healthy, good food, exercise, rest. This is the way to go for me.
To be happy myself, it's just my yogic life, I guess, now. I self-practice yoga every day. And as I say, I spent 3.5 days around other people in yoga studios. It's fun and interesting. And as I say, I only spend money on things that I need rather than waste. I go out and I enjoy meals out with people when I want to. I don't drink alcohol or smoke, because I think the only temple that you've got is your body. Why do you want to fill it with poison? So for me, I choose not to poison my body with those things for more than 40 years, in actual fact, not even 5 years. So I don't do those things, and they make me happy.
Definitely being active, as in practicing sport. So I discovered a new sport. Well, it's not discovered a new sport. I started practicing a new sport, which is squash. And for example, even when it comes to board games, I try to use these games that tease my brain. So, I make sure that my brain is, hey, like, wake up. And yeah, like I told you before, cutting out of your life anything which you don't need to. Toxic people, toxic news, distractions on your phone. The phone is a big distraction.
I commit to myself. That really makes me happy, when the relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you'll have in your whole life. And when I commit to myself and don't break agreements with myself and trust myself, just like any other relationship, that's what makes me feel happy, when I don't break those agreements with myself.
Start the day with intention to just feel whatever comes. Just to train myself to release all resistance. It's not easy.
Powerful routines, meditating, gratitude routine every morning. You have to prime yourself for happiness. It doesn't happen. It doesn't fall on you. You have to generate it. Yeah. You have to. Yeah, that's my secret, I would say. Yeah.
I connect with people that speaks my language, and I'm not talking about English. I'm talking about my language as a being. So I surround myself with those, even though it's online. I don't care. I keep on feeding my energy with those people, even they are around the world. And I dance, I scream, I eat chocolate. I love chocolate. I take a bath, I sing.
I take care of myself.
I try to give more than I take. I try to do that every day, give more than I take.
Like, I try to start my day with appreciation. Like, I really try in the morning to find things that I appreciate before all the craziness goes on. Especially, again, I have 3 young kids, so it's in the morning a lot of so before that begins, to really think what I appreciate about my life, because it's so easy. Like I said, it's so easy to lose to see the good that we have.
I think that I continue to explore new things in creativity and continue to meet new people and communicate.
I feel happiest when I feel a sense of compassion and forgiveness towards myself and others, and that I'm allowing myself to explore, make mistakes, have some fun. I'm allowing myself to express myself. I'm breaking down boundaries that are preventing me from feeling flow in my life. And I'm choosing happiness. So the best way, and this is the greatest advice for me today, to be honest, is, really, you hear these kind of cliche things like happiness is a choice. And usually when you hear that, you're in a bad mood, and you want to punch that person in the face, right? but it kind of is a choice. And so I guess what I do to make me, or to bring more happiness into my life, is I start to think and focus on more pleasurable, happy things. And I put that 139 bytes of focus on things that are expansive, enjoyable, beneficial, wonderful. And I put more attention there. I ask for help when I need it.
Dancing, yes. Talking to people, getting out in nature, searching your environment, or go hang out with a friend.
One of my taglines is that gratitude is the key to happiness. So gratitude and giving are the key to happiness. So I have a gratitude practice that I practice every day. When I wake up and before I go to bed, I give gratitude. And I try, and I'm successful at, seeing the positive side of things and really stepping into other people's perspective, so that when things aren't so happy, I can try and see another perspective. So I also do a lot of self-care, meditation. I've recently, and this is a beautiful way that I've leaned into self-love, is I sing to myself, and I sing to myself when I cook food for myself. And it's such a beautiful experience, because I don't have a good singing voice, but because I'm sharing love with myself, it brings me joy and happiness. And oftentimes it moves me to tears, because I'm so grateful to be loved. And of course, it starts from within. And that is what I do for my own happiness.
Well, specifically in the morning, I go run. I know that the light helps me a lot to wake up my system, and also the way running changes the breathing. It just kind of activates my whole system, and I'm kind of exposed to new perspective, new visions. So I this is kind of huge part of my morning routine, to just get up and run before I can get into like kind of negative thinking patterns.
I listen to my inner voice, what to do next.
In order to be happy, I need to create a space in my life where I can check in with myself and I need to relax so that I can be brave enough to follow that and to take action.
I try to have a good work-life balance. Really spend time with my family and with my boyfriend. And
I choose not to see the sadness all around, because as much as, you know, people are living in poverty, it's not like they're miserable. You know, we always think, poor these people, they live in shitty houses. Yeah, but they're still happy.
Sure.
Would they prefer to have a more comfortable house? Of course they are, but it's not like they're living in depression, all of them. So when you choose to look, even if it's the small things, when we continue to look for the small things that bring us happiness, eventually those are the main things that we see.
Yeah.
And if I decided that I wanted to focus on all the negative things that surround me every single day, it's not like my life is roses and sunshine 24/7. No, but I don't let those moments be what gets me down.
Something practical could be running, could be doing some activity, or could be meditating. There is always something you do to make you happy, really happy, even if it's doing nothing. Doing nothing means being present. Doing nothing, it's not doing anything. That's not with energy. It's doing nothing.
I love coloring books. That's, I don't know. It just makes me happy. And of course, I'm not talking about, you know, being with my family, etc. But something that makes me happy personally, coloring books, making arts, using my hands, trying to create things and turn them into something beautiful to look at. That makes me happy.
Learning makes me happy. Reading, videos, watching human beings do awesome stuff, cycling, watching dogs, petting dogs, playing with dogs. I mean, there's a multi. I won't, but I could go on for a long time. I've spent a lot of time in the last 7 or 8 years noticing when I'm happily doing things, what am I doing? And I do more of those things.
I try to start my day in a good energy, in a good mood. So I have a morning routine, which is, I really do it every day. Most days, okay, not every day. I try to do it every day, but sometimes, you know, life is happening. Well, if I can do it, I try to stay up early. Then I drink a glass of water with fresh lemon in it. And then I go over to move my body, make some yoga, Pilates, or some other movements like functional training or something. And after that, I meditate and I bring gratefulness in my heart. Yeah. And yeah, I really love to do it because it opens my heart and get my energy in the right level.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I do lots of things. I love kids, so I love to be with my little cousins. I really feel a kid when I'm with them.
Yeah, again, I think it's making choices and decisions that are not against who I am, that are not against my core values. And as long as I'm being very crystal clear about that, my life tends to have far less resistance and contentment. Just honoring who I am on a day-to-day basis and being okay with that, not trying to fight it.
I take everything as it comes, without putting it in a box. If this is good or if this is bad, I take everything as it comes, and when it comes, I ask myself what we were saying before. So, what's the purpose of this? What's the good thing about this? Because everything is a learning curve here. We're in the game of life. This is a game. So, what is this trying to tell me? And happiness is when you find that answer, when you find that purpose, even if it's something silly, even if you're watching a TV commercial and you're thinking, why am I putting so much attention to this chocolate commercial? I mean, chocolate's not even that good for you, apparently, you know. But sometimes it's just to realize little things. Oh, maybe like the little cow, the little purple cow, I should go out and be more in nature. Maybe I should disconnect a bit from all this sugar dependency that I have. Maybe happiness is not in a bar of chocolate. Maybe I should just
leave my comfort zone that has never been too comfortable anyway, and go out in nature, be in silence, take care of myself, see what is the next thing that I could do for me to make me better, happier.
Move myself. I try to, yoga always brings me back to myself. So I move myself, I try to get silent, and sometimes one deep breath is enough. But I do the inner work. I continuously like work on my mindset, but not in a hard way, not like to push, but more like asking the right questions and getting silent and listening to my intuition. So, and a lot of self-care. For me, it's important to have time for myself, and I'm trying to create more time for myself because it's sometimes it's challenging.
Yeah. Travel, travel, but also, once again, being present, being open to opportunities, meeting people, meeting new places, exploring new cultures, exploring new food. It's about being in the present moment. So my happiness does come in the present moment, and it's best assisted when I'm traveling.
Well, for me, it's super important to have my morning routine and my evening routine. It's really important. It's my little sacred moment for myself, where I connect, with my energy, just to be with me.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. I think there are so many fun ideas what you can do to feel happier, more content, be happy, things you can do in your life. Some very fun ideas and some very simple things like just taking a deep breath. So I hope you got some inspiration and you enjoyed this episode. And if you're happy to be in Lagos, then please join my yoga classes. Hop over to my Instagram, Nadine I Yoga. Always happy to connect with you there. Please leave me a comment under the post of this episode. And please rate and review this podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. And come back next week with a new, fresh episode. I wish you a wonderful day, no matter where in the world you are. Love and namaste.